Hello guys, and welcome to another video on DJF Vlogs, and welcome back to the 130th episode of the Now Update. Today I've got quite a lot to talk about, so let's jump in with all the latest Now Cycle music news and updates. So first of all, I'll go through the upcoming albums that are due to be released. So we have Now That's What I Call a Love Song, and that's due to be released on the 27th of January. Then we have Now Yearbook 1980 to 1984 Extra, the final chapter, and that is due to be released on the 3rd of February. Then we have Now Dance the 80s, and that is due to be released on CD and vinyl, and that's due to be released on the 17th of February. If you would like to pre-order any of those albums, you can do. There'll be links in the description down below if you'd like to go and pre-order. You can of course pre-order from Amazon, HMV's website, and of course Now Music's online store. And when those albums are out, you'll be able to get them in supermarkets and HMV stores. And again, for supermarkets, I definitely recommend you check your local supermarket to see if they do still sell CDs, as not all supermarkets still sell CDs. So now let's have a look at all the Now Cycle music albums in the official top 50 compilation album chart. This is where I look at all the Now Cycle music albums that feature in the official top 50 compilation album chart, which is updated every Friday, and I release episodes every Monday. So number one, we have Now Yearbook 1985 Extra. It's up 97 places this week. That of course is not a new entry. It should have been a new entry in this week's chart, but of course that entered last week's chart, and we definitely didn't expect it to. I definitely didn't think it would enter last week's chart. There was a couple of retailers that actually put this album out earlier. I think Asda was definitely one of them. There may have been others, but Asda is the one I'm definitely sure that have done this. And of course the albums that Asda have sold of course had an effect on the chart, hence why it entered the chart last week instead of this week as a new entry. That's done so well to go up to number one this week. Let's just hope it doesn't fall down many places next week. At 5 we have Now Cycle Music 113. That's unfortunately down 3 places this week. Of course it was down 1 place last week. That moved down from the top to number 2, and unfortunately again this week it's down number 3 places. I do hope it can stay in the top 5 for a little while longer. I know it's spent quite a while at number 1, but I really do hope it can maintain its place in the top 5. At 15 we have Now That's What I Call a Massive 80s Party. At 16 we have Now number 1 70s of the official singles chart. At 35 we have Now That's What I Call Music 112. At 38 we have Now Yearbook 1980 to 1984 the final chapter. At 40 we have Now That's What I Call Timeless to Songs. And at 46 we have Now That's What I Call 90s Dance Floor. So those are all the Now That's What I Call music albums in the official top 50 compilation album chart, which is updated every Friday, and I release episodes every Monday. So this week we have 8 Now albums in the top 50. We did of course also have 8 albums last week, so we haven't actually lost any albums this week. We have maintained the same amount of albums. In last week's chart we did of course lost 4 albums. I think the week before that we lost a few albums as well, so we lost quite a few albums over the space of about 2 weeks, but we have luckily maintained the same amount of albums in the chart this week, which is good to see. But I hope we don't lose any of these albums over the coming weeks. I know we lost, as I said, a lot of albums all at once, so hopefully these albums can stay in the top 50. The albums this week are doing a little bit better than they were last week. The statistics of the albums in the top 50 this week are: we have 6 albums going down and we have 2 albums going up, which is a little bit better than last week. Last week, of the 8 albums in the chart, every single album's moving down, so we have 8 albums moving down last week's chart. This week we only have 6, and we have of course had those 2 albums moving up, which as I said is slightly better, but we have luckily maintained the same amount of albums in the chart this week, which is good to see. We can of course still hope more of those start moving up, but it is definitely looking better than it has been. We can just hope that more of these albums start moving up over the next few weeks. So that is it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please make sure you give it a massive thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated if you do. Also make sure you subscribe and enable notifications to be notified every time there's a new video. And make sure you follow my Instagram, my Twitter and my Snapchat. That'll be just aside right there. And links to my social medias will be in the description down below. And make sure you guys follow up on all of them. And guys, I'll see you soon for another YouTube video.